Welcome back to Let's Play DDO Permadeath. Alright, with Corvus done, is on to the Harbour. And unlike on my Sorcerer, this guy should have a fairly smooth ride through the Harbour. It should certainly be less effort and more enjoyable. Oh, and I took the straw hat as the end reward from stopping the Sahuagin.
You wish all these bones were a little cleaner. The air reeks of rotting meat.
Concentration items are a big boost to this guy, of course. In fact, I almost have enough standing key now to throw a stunning fist. That will be a big upgrade when I get it. So I'm in Durk's here, on hard of course, because I don't have any way to disable the trap. My plan now is to try and get done all the level 2 quests that I can't do elite before starting another elite streak. And this is usually top of my list of ones that I can't do elite. Now, I always used to say that dodging lightning bolts was the main skill in the Harbour. But I think they must have changed the parameters a bit on the kobolds in one of the recent updates. The melee enemies seemed a lot tougher than they used to be. Which basically just means they were tough enough you actually had to pay attention to them, which you never used to have to do with the kobolds. And the casters seemed a bit less tough. So I will see if that is borne out again on this monk. Certainly on my last solo I found that, but that was my sorcerer, who wasn't very strong at low levels. But I noticed it a bit in a group that I was playing through the Harbour recently as well. So I think it might just be a thing now. Always nice playing through the users on a monk, don't have to worry about them at all. Hey, I actually made the secret door. I thought there was no chance of that.
It must be a higher tension. And where there's one
I wasn't expecting to get any of the secret doors in here. That's an interesting low-level weapon. That's probably the most useless combination of things to have on a masterwork item ever. At least I've never found Slow Burst to be any use for anything.
The floors, walls, and ceiling drip with ooze. It quivers as you approach, perhaps in anticipation.
Okay, buff on. Yeah, well, maybe it was just my sorcerer having trouble with the kobold melees. This guy is coasting through them. I guess this is hard rather than elite though. I'll save judgment till I get into the elite stuff. Whoa, laggy moment there. Alright, definitely not going anywhere near that trap. That's basically death going anywhere near that trap. And there's no chest there anyway this time.
This room stinks a little less than the rest of this foul place. This probably marks it as the lair of a prince of the kobolds.
As usual, I came over to the east side of the kobold's den first. That's so you have a chance of getting Muck, I understand. Not that he's actually any use to me on this character. Just have it that I came over here. The disadvantage is that you can't shrine until the very end, when it's not really useful, of course. But I'm not going to shrine on this guy anyway. In fact, we should start counting. We should see how many shrines I can get past on this guy without needing to shrine. I might get through the whole harbour without needing to. That said, I will potentially want to shrine for hit points occasionally. But I may find that I just don't need to.
A faint vibration passes through the floor.
Of course, the other curiosity of monk play that people have noted is that you often find it easier playing on hard than on normal. Depending on the content, of course, but having enemies that have more hit points so you can actually have your healing curse on them for longer can be an advantage. Which is, I guess, another good reason not to use power attack most of the time. Did I not hit the lever? That was dumb. That might be a very good reason to use precision rather than power attack as my main stance on this guy. I've only taken power attack so I can get cleave, and great cleave, of course.
The rear section of the sewer has been opened.
This is certainly much easier than many of the solos I've brought through here. Not unexpectedly. No muck. Doesn't really matter on this guy though. Just the right number of enemies to get buffed up. Ouch, that's a lot of Scorching Ray. In fact, they're not casting anything but Scorching Ray, and in quick succession. I will have to drink some healing potions here. I'm not going through this trap with anything other than full hit points. Alright, let's get my reflex save up to the limit again. Water stance is +2 to saves, and the fire finishing move is another +2, I think. Well, I got hit. Wow, that trap did very little damage, considering I got a critical fail on my save. It's obviously very weak on hard. It's much scarier on elite, as I believe. I've certainly seen Permadeath characters die running through that one on elite. Maybe they toned it down, decided it was too tough for the Harbour. I'll be switching back to fire stance for all of the combat for now. And that's for the extra points of key generation per hit. That throw is just in the wrong place, blocking me getting to the real problem. And he wants to stay there. Great. Damn it.
The bulging chest in this room could only belong to one of the Kobold brothers you've heard so many secrets about.
Just going around breaking crates to maximise my XP here. And there's Ransack.
The first of the Kobold chieftain brothers has been slain.
Kind of unwise of him to chase me around when one hit was going to kill him. Alright, still nothing useful out of any of these chests. Okay. I suppose the next thing to do really would be the library. Since that's the other quest with a nasty trap that I won't want to be doing on Elite. I will have to go and buy an electric resist potion for that. Okay, interesting. Lots of good choices there. It's hard to turn down Feather Falling, really. Alright, I should go and sell off some of this junk gear. I'll be back for the next quest in a minute. Alright, since I was passing this spot, I thought I would finish off the last of the solos.
Snarling guard dog. The beast's ribs show through its skin. The result of mistreatment by its masters.
This is the only one of the solos that I think is difficult to do at level 1. If you get knocked over by the dogs, it gets very nasty, of course. But it's easy now my AC is high. My AC is a good 11 points higher than it was when I was straight off the boat in Korphos. And I spent another action point in between quests there while I was cleaning up, so I thought I should show my enhancements so far. Why is there another dog there? Oh, I guess there were 2. Yeah, that makes sense. There's 3 down the far end and 3 on the way. That's it. Yes, so far I've put the first point into my core enhancements in Shintao. I've put 3 points in conditioning now, for plus 3 concentration, so I now have enough concentration to throw a stunning fist from my default resting amount of ki. And I have deft strikes, 1 level of that I think. Which is just to give me a bit of extra, I think it's double strike, isn't it? No, it's plus offhand attack, okay. Whoops, gotta be careful. Alright, so that must be the full ransack, okay. Awesome, there's the other dog. Alright, nice and easy. That's not bad boots actually. But I think Tales of Valor is fine. Might as well take the Tales at low levels, where the equipment you're foregoing is not really worth anything. Alright, I never do this one elite unless at very high levels or with something to soak up the lightning damage. Or if I can do the traps, of course.
The librarian cheerfully agrees to show you his collection. He leads you below the tower, then motions you closer to speak.
But that amounts to the same thing, since to have high enough intelligence to disable the lightning room at these levels, you're probably on a wizard end.
The air is chilly and damp. Despite this, the books seem bone dry. Magic must be at work here.
And can therefore, well, you're therefore a wizard and can cast protection from elements or something like that to mitigate the damage.
Muttering to himself. Best wait for him to leave before trying to steal Dulsamara's books.
I actually have a reasonable amount of equipment on this guy now, or very low level of course. I have the Angus set, the concentration helmet, Deadly 2,
The librarian has
plus
left
4
the room.
outfits.
Quick, obtain the book and return to Dulsamara. The librarian's voice shrieks, "I know your true intentions, thief. My traps will be the end of you."
Still like the skeletons emerging from the mist in this quest. Alright, let's go lightning first. Alright, I want to be in stance as well, of course. Minimise the chances of missing a reflex save. I can't disable it. What am I doing over here? Wasting time. That's what I'm doing. Well, I did some evading there, but actually took quite a few hits. More than I was expecting. I guess I was being a bit lazy. I didn't put my fire buff on. I will be heading over to the Baudry Cartamon chain after this. And I think that's the last thing I'll need to do on hard in the Harbour. I think the rest I can do elite. I might have an easier time against the kobolds on elite, as is sometimes the case. The Scorching Ray probably hits this guy more reliably than Lightning Bolt would have done. Scorching Ray being a no-save thing, whereas Lightning Bolt is reflex, which this guy doesn't actually have a great reflex save yet, but I guess it's good for his level. Not going through the trap to the chest, of course. Okay, switching over to my acid hand wraps for this bit. Oh, I can't do it anyway, of course. Never mind.
You have found what you came for. It is time to leave this vile place.
Okay. I'll break the video there and head over to Baudry's.